Sarah's alarm goes off at 5:30 a.m. She switches it off, scrolls for a few minutes, then drags herself out of bed. She gets ready, grabs coffee, and rushes into traffic for work. By 10 a.m., she's already tired. Not necessarily from work, but just in general. By 3 p.m., she's fighting sleep at her desk, but still pushing through. Still functioning, but with hardly any energy. So on some days, she catches herself thinking, why don't I bounce back the way I used to? That feeling of your body not quite keeping up the way it used to is really where the idea of longevity starts. Sometimes it's stress or burnout. Sometimes it's a sign that your body is shifting with age. Longevity isn't just about living longer. Obviously, we can't control how long we're going to be living here on this earth. It's more about our health span, our quality of life while we're here, living as energized, focused, strong, and thriving as we can well into our older age. Health is something you're investing in every single day, whether you realize it or not. As life goes on, the reality of aging hits us in the face, and suddenly our bodies start keeping score of everything we do. It's unavoidable. Many chronic health problems don't appear overnight. It's a slow build-up. Years of not sleeping enough, eating ultra-processed food regularly, sitting more than moving, being constantly stressed about work every day. And the body adapts while it's young until it starts asking for payback. The good news is that it also means that we can turn things around if we focus on longevity. We come across people with heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cognitive decline, and these don't just appear suddenly. They build quietly in the background for years. You might argue that genes play a big role in this. Even the most health-conscious people get sick. Correct. Genes play a role as well as other factors outside our control. But they're not the full story. Because each day, your body is responding to the signals you've created. Did I sleep well last night? Did I move around enough today? Did I eat too much or too little? What kind of food did I eat? Am I constantly stressed out? Genes and other factors matter, but that doesn't mean that your lifestyle choices moving forward don't. The choices you make every day still count. Sleep early or scroll for another 2 hours. Walk after a meal or go straight to the couch. Have a hearty, balanced meal with protein and veggies, or that tempting, convenient pizza. They all add up and compound. Healthy choices and habits, most of the time, build protection. Poor ones, most of the time, build risk, slowly and silently. For most people, health is only noticed when it's lost. And when it's lost, there's a bigger price to pay, not just with money, but with time and peace. If longevity is our biggest health investment, we need to be proactive with it. If we strip everything down, longevity is built on a few core things: nutrition, hydration, movement, sleep, and stress management. For food and hydration, we should be eating mostly whole food or food that's minimally processed. We should be eating lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, healthy fats. We should stay well hydrated with water and use electrolytes when needed, especially after excessive sweating, intense exercise, or illness. For movement, at the very least, we should be walking, doing some form of cardio, and lifting weights. This will keep our heart strong and our muscles strong for when we do our everyday activities. Aesthetics are a bonus. For sleep, this is where we rest and repair. If sleep is consistently poor, everything else gets harder. Energy, cravings, focus, recovery, metabolism, they all get affected. I could probably do a whole video on optimizing sleep because those who lack sleep really should put more time and effort into it. It should be more of a priority than an afterthought. And for stress management, chronic stress can help speed up aging. We can't control all the stressful things around us, but what we can do is manage our level of stress and bounce back the best we can. We can do this through different tools like nature bathing, practicing some breath work, meditation, journaling, or anything that relaxes you in that moment. And you know what else can be self-consuming? Isolation. There may be days when we just want to stay home and have our privacy, which is fine. But as social beings, we do need our fair share of purpose, relationships, and even simple daily connections. These are the things we can work on right now for the most impact. These can help add life to our years. The ones that are naturally doing these are the ones in blue zones, the regions that are known for having high numbers of long-lived people. which just proves that aside from lifestyle patterns and behaviors, the environment around us plays a huge role in our health and longevity. Now, what about cold plunges, saunas, fasting for autophagy, red light therapy, all those wearable devices? What about those tests that estimate your biological age? I think it's great that health and wellness have become more mainstream, and more people are showing interest in it. And I don't really have anything against trying out these trends. We all have free will to try them, and if any of these trends seem to work for you or put you in a wellness state, then that should be a benefit. Wearables like the Oura Ring, smartwatch, and glucose monitors are there to give you data about your body's activity level, VO2 max, sleep, stress, and blood sugar trends, and how you can improve them. If you're the type of person who works well with data, they can definitely help. But if you end up obsessing over it or feeling way too stressed out by it, then maybe it's just overcomplicating your life and you'll probably be better off without it. Not all biohacks will work for everyone. And more importantly, they should coexist with the longevity foundations mentioned earlier. Protein shakes can help, but they shouldn't completely replace whole food protein sources. The foundations should still be there. Otherwise, biohacks are just distractions. Longevity isn't always about optimizing everything. It's about building a body that doesn't constantly feel like it's breaking down. A healthy body is about resilience, not just performance. Some longevity patterns already exist in traditional Filipino food and lifestyle habits. It's far from perfect, but it's more naturally ingrained. We have meals built around fish like bangus and inihaw na tilapia, which are excellent sources of protein and omega-3s. We have our veggie-based dishes like pinakbet, chop suey, and laing, which are naturally high in fiber and micronutrients. We have soups that are packed with proteins and veggies like chicken tinola, beef bolalo, and pork or shrimp sinigang. Even our native carbs like saba and kamote are slower, more whole food sources of energy compared to ultra-processed snacks. And we also have fruits rich in vitamins and antioxidants like papaya, guava, mango, and calamansi. And aside from food, there's also something we have that's just as important. Shared meals, family connection, salo-salo culture. Because longevity isn't only biological, it's also emotional and social. Longevity isn't about chasing youth. It's not a list of hacks or perfect routines. It's the daily decisions that either support your future body or slowly wear it down. And when we invest in sleep, movement, whole food, and stress management, we are not just adding years to life. We're protecting the quality of the years we already have. And that's the real goal, to stay strong enough, clear enough, and well enough to actually live those years fully. If you took away a thing or two from this video, you might also enjoy my previous one on what we can learn from the world's healthiest countries. Feel free to check it out and subscribe to this channel for more videos on simple and realistic nutrition, wellness, and motivation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.